Should we view the president's comments out of London as a moment where things have changed in some fashion that we may be unaware of, so that it becomes less likely a deal is near?
Well, the president's objective always has been to get the right deal, independently of when or anything else like that. So his objectives haven't changed. And if we don't have a deal, he's perfectly happy to continue with the tariffs as he had. So he feels we're in a pretty good position one way or the other. I think the new variable is the whole Hong Kong situation. That's complicated life for President Xi. Then, as you know, they got somewhat upset when the president signed the bill.
Right.
Well, the reality is that bill was going to be enacted anyway because they had a veto-proof majority in the Congress. So that's only a technical issue whether the president signed it or not. Nonetheless, they did announce the retaliation about the Navy vessels not going into Hong Kong. That's not a big deal. We can very well live without the port of Hong Kong. So that one I thought was fairly modest. But, you know, when you're dealing in international things, everything affects everything.
Yeah, understood. But it does seem as well that the Chinese have made it clear that they would expect some sort of, well, not just no tariffs on the 15th of December, which is only 12 days away at this point, but also a potential rollback of the September tariffs. Is that the case, as you understand it, in terms of what their ask is? And is that something that has put a new impediment in the way of perhaps reaching a deal in the near term?
Well, the idea of addressing existing tariffs over a period of time is not a new idea. That's always been part of things. The real question is the total package. So I don't think it's too useful to pick out one little piece or another. We should really focus. Either we're going to have a total package that works for both, or we'll continue on as we are. I think it's also important that the president make clear he's under no time pressure to get it done, because otherwise there's a tendency of the other side to say, oh, he needs it for political reasons, so we'll give him a worse deal than we would. He's not going to play that game.
But he made that clear today. Is it your expectation that December 15th tariffs will be applied?
Well, unless there's some real reason to postpone them. If there were a little bit of time needed for more talks, he probably would postpone it. If enough substantive progress had been made, he might. You really have to look at the exact situation as we get a little closer to that time.
Is he serious when he says it might be better to delay it to after the election? And what would the consequences be from that?
Well, I think he's serious, certainly in this regard. That takes off the table something that they may think gives them some leverage. Because once the election occurs, and the president seems to be in very good shape for the election, once it occurs and he's back in, now that's no longer a distraction that could detract from our negotiating position.
But ultimately, I mean, even if he does get reelected, that's 4 more years. I mean, they still kind of have that leverage on the table because we have a democratic system here, right?
Well, we have the leverage because we have much more ammunition left against them than they have against us. It's one of the few good things about a trade deficit is you have more bullets you can fire than they have that they can fire. They're pretty well out of bullets.